Hi, I'm Rachel Williams. I've been the current education officer for this past year at the Art Student Union, and I'm also the current LCC Link officer. I don't know. I think I'm good. I don't know. Yeah. The campaign I wanted to focus on this year was the decolonization and inclusivity campaign. It became really important to me working as a student change maker during my studies, and I wanted to continue it on in my role as education officer. This campaign is really important to me because personally, I've been a student of color. I'm a woman of color working in this industry, and I really wanted to make sure that art students coming to learn and work, they feel like they're in a place where they're welcome and it's inclusive and representative of all the students. And so I think my personal motivation definitely tied into my interest in it, and then just working with the students as well just became more and more evident how important decolonization and inclusivity is for everyone who attends the university. So the goals for this priority this year have been really focusing on making sure that decolonization and inclusivity are a part of the curriculum design, and it's a topic that's continually discussed and readdressed. We also really wanted to make sure that the university made sure that there are tangible results from their anti-racism plan and really holding them accountable in different ways, whether that be from policy change or just classroom design and events. But we really wanted to make sure it was a well-rounded approach that continues on. It's not something that falls off, or it's just like a statement that's been made and then we don't readdress it or keep working towards our goals. So I think that was the overarching goal for us as a team and for the SU and myself personally. And then we found different ways to kind of specify our results as a student union and what we could really do for decolonization. Yeah, so we've made a lot of progress. For example, we had a campaign to make sure that racial trauma was included in the list of reasonings for extenuating circumstances, which we've gotten the university to commit to and will be an option for students. We've also done lots of different events that are really inclusive and have a decolonized focus. We've done also CRITS events that are really focusing on making sure that CRITS are a safe space as art students that are both decolonized, inclusive, and welcome for all students. It's such a big part of being an art student taking place in CRITS. So we've worked on events that way. And we've also just brought these issues up in many different behind the scenes committee meetings and policy meetings that happen all throughout the year. So we've really made sure that it's been a focus and will continue to be a focus. What's next is that we have to keep going. I think that's been our main focus. I think there's no one size fits all approach or solution to making spaces decolonized and inclusive. I think the main goal is to make sure that we're continually addressing and looking at how our systems are set up, our structures are set up, and how we can continue to decolonize them. And that just takes continued efforts and focus and not letting it fall off to the wayside or be something that we achieved one thing or we achieved one event and now we can stop focusing on it. It's continual. We have a lot of room for growth as a university and a union in this area. And so I would say what's next is that we're going to keep going and keep focusing on it and finding new ways to address the issue and move us closer to the target. Yeah, I found this role really interesting. It was different than what I expected it to be in terms of just how much goes on behind the scenes that we don't see as students, the different meetings that go into policy change and how the student voice affects everything that's going on behind the scenes, and how it's really important, even if you don't know what's going on, what meetings are happening, that you still use your voice, because those ideas and those actions, make their way through every part of the university structure, and it's super important. I didn't realize that, I think, when I first started. So that's been one thing. And another thing is, of course, I mentioned before that one of my main priorities was decolonization and inclusivity. And I think I learned about so many different ways that you could approach this issue that I didn't realize when I first started the job. So I would say, coming into this, be flexible. I think you should be really clear on your goals and your overarching themes, but be flexible on how you achieve them and how you work through the goals and campaigns that you want to achieve, because it might not look like the way you thought it would starting out, but there's still so much that can be done. And I think Yeah, so I would say just be flexible on your approach and kind of really realizing that like the campaigns that we focus on really permeate through so many different aspects of student life and student experience. So it means just like there's multitudes of ways to approach each issue, and so don't lock yourself in a box and really just like go in with a clear head, clear goals, and a flexible approach is what I would say.